Okay, for this lesson, sizokhuluma finding unknown coordinates. I'm sure you have seen questions afana nalawa where they give you two coordinates, then no, not two coordinates, but 2 points. For example, for example, does the black work? Okay, let's roll with it. Okay, so let's say mhlambe bakuphu A and then bato 2 and 3, then they also give you maybe B. Then bafaku Q la, meaning that the x coordinate for B is unknown. Then they give you something like 9 la, right? So this is what you have to calculate in this instance. Ne? This is what you have to calculate in this instance. So this is the topic esobe sikhuluma ngayo. These are the types of problems engifuna ukuwa-address. Ngifila ngathi if ever ngithatha a question and bring it into the lesson, ngibona ngathi there's too much noise that way. So I'm just gonna try to isolate laoma problems and discuss them in isolation, right? There's also going to be a video in the description box where I put all the topics discussed lana kule channel lena under analytical geometry. Okay, so take a look at this problem. No, not this one. Where's this one? What is saying? Delete here. Should be a right. Nine. Okay, so take a look at this problem. La, but he refer to the diagram alongside, right? Uno. Okay, so this diagram, it looks like a incompleted trapezium. So now connector la, I end up with a trapezium, right? So don't worry about the actual shape, but what the message I'm trying to send la, here's an example where they give you coordinates afana no B, and the y coordinate is unknown, right? So for point B, the y coordinate is unknown, right? But for C, we do have the coordinates. For A, we also don't have the coordinates la, right? But that's easy to find, right? That's gonna be easy to find. In the equation for that straight line, you're just gonna find the x-intercept la. But for B, this is very concerning, at least for me. This is very concerning. Why? Because the y coordinate is unknown. And then apago A, they demand us to calculate the value of body of P. So this is the discussion engifuna sibe nayo lana for this lesson. Okay, we're also gonna solve this problem towards the end of this recording. So now I just wanna show you how to calculate an unknown coordinate, right? So to calculate them, well, there's gonna be 3 instances or 3 scenarios that you can use to calculate an unknown coordinate. The first one now is that you need a gradient, right? So there's going to be a question where you pick gradient, or when you have to find a gradient and calculate an unknown coordinate. So in order to calculate an unknown coordinate, one of the ways is by using a gradient. The second way is using a distance or a length, right? So lama quantities now, these values should be given, right? So sometimes bagupi distance or length, you can use that to calculate an unknown coordinate. And then in other instances, you can be given even iloganji midpoint. I like a midpoint because it's powerful. You can calculate even both coordinates. So say mhlambe bakupa a coordinate B. Color blocking la. Let me stick to white. Okay, bakupa a coordinate B. That coordinate B has has no coordinates. It's just a point B somewhere, and then point A lana, and then they give you something like 1 and 1, and then you are also given a midpoint, I don't know, 3 and 1. So you can use this coordinate, this midpoint, to work out both x and y at the same time, right? You can work out both the unknown x as well as the unknown y. It's courtesy 1, right? That's how powerful the midpoint scenario is, right? So working with the midpoint yakuvumela ukuthi calculate away to our coordinates. But for the first, the distance and the gradient, it's kind of a challenge nyana, so right. So we're gonna discuss each scenario. Okay. So let me just hide lana and la. Maybe we can take our first example. Let's take this one. So with example number 1, we are given a gradient. So they want us to calculate the unknown coordinate q, given that the gradient for the line AB is what? Is 1. Okay. So but the gradient AB is equal to 1. Find q. So how do we do that? So sebenzisa the gradient formula, of course. So the gradient of AB is equal to YA minus YB over XA minus XB. Gradient AB, I'm going to substitute that. It's 1. YA, it's negative 3. YB, it's Q over XA, that's minus 5, minus XB, negative 3, like this. So it's going to be 1 minus, equal to minus 3 minus Q over, and then line is minus 3 plus 3, that's going to be a minus 2. Divide by 1, cross multiply. Negative 1 times 1, it's minus 2. 1 times minus 3 minus Q, it's minus 3 minus Q. Okay, then you transpose. Okay, I don't know. It's up to you, but Mina, I prefer taking the Q over to the other side and then the 2 over here. Then you have minus 3 plus 2. Q is equal to, wait, Q shouldn't be, remember the Q is in the first point P is in the first quadrant, so Q cannot be negative. Did I do any mistake? So YA negative 3, correct. YB, that's Q, okay. And then XA minus 5. Where's the 3 coming from? Ish, Mara. Okay. Let's erase this. Okay, so it's 1. It's 1. 1 that is equal to YA, it's minus 3 minus Q over, and then XA it's minus 5 minus XB, that's 4, yeah, equal to minus 3 minus Q over, that's minus 9 over 1, cross multiply, minus 9 equal to minus 3 minus Q. And then Q come over this side, you're about positive Q. When a 9 go over that side, plus 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so Q is equal to 6. So the coordinate Q is going to be what? 6. It makes sense for Q to be positive. The coordinate, the point B is in the first quadrant. Alright, so this is a scenario here where you are given what? The gradient. Example number 2. Okay, Lana, they given us any distance here. So we know that distance formula ET, if you have 2 points A and B, ET, the square root of XA minus XB squared plus YA minus YB is going to be equal to AB. So we are given AB, however, So 9 square root 2 is going to be equal to, so lana, I'm just going to substitute what I have. xa minus 5 minus xb 4 squared plus ya, that's minus 3, yb, that's q squared, and then go about 9 square root 2 equal to minus 4 minus 5, that's 9. What's 9 squared? Is it 81? Let me check. So 9 squared, yes, 81. So I was calculating this, and then it will allow 81 plus, do not foil, do not foil, do not foil, do not foil. You can, but do not. I advise you not to do that. Okay, so there's nothing else that I can do, right? Nothing else that I can do except, like, oh my god, there's nothing else that you can do. I'm speaking about what is underneath the square root. So lana, I'm gonna square both sides because we now have a sad equation. So open bracket 9 square root 2 close bracket squared, that's 162 equal to, so ngisala no 81 plus minus 3 minus q. Ngoba le square root sesihambile lesi, it doesn't mean ukuthi you have to foil this bracket. Do not foil, do not foil. My advice, that is my advice, do not foil though. Then we turn to 81 over to the other side. Kusala lo minus 3 minus q squared. Do not foil still. Minus 81. I'm getting 81. This is equal to minus 3 minus q squared. Then you're going to just take the square root on both sides. Then you have plus minus 9 equal to minus 3 minus q. Therefore, when a q hamba ngale, sala no minus 3, yeah, then go about plus minus 9, right? Go about plus minus 9 ngala. Nice. Go about plus minus 9. Then the first q is gonna be negative 3 plus 9. I'm getting 6. And then the other q, of course, then I get C7, C this one. But let me just get the answer for it. So it's gonna be a negative 12. So the correct answer, it's gonna be this q equal to 6. Ngoba, we can see that the point B is actually in the first quadrant and it should be positive, and then q omunye negative, so this is out of the picture again. So this is a case where you have to use distance formula to get an unknown coordinate. Scenario number 3. This is example number 314 again. Calculate the unknown coordinate q when given the midpoint as, so we have a midpoint again this time. So the midpoint formula says x, y, you are equal to x2 plus x1 over 2, y2 plus y1 over 2. Now we have to calculate what? OQ, right? OQ. So since OQ is the y coordinate, so it means that uzofocus on this part of the equation, right? On this part of the equation. So we are given the midpoint. The midpoint is this: 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2 equal to m open bracket xa plus xb over 2, then siba no ya plus yb over 2, right? Over 2. Since the q is the y-intercept, no, not the y-intercept, but the y-coordinate that is unknown, and let's calculate. What do? We take this y and equate it to this y, right? Y bayalingana. Whatever answer I'm gonna get here, it's gonna be the same as this, right? And then this is going to be the same as this. You know what? Since the x coordinates are given, let me just proceed and do this. 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2. Ngithi m xa ubani minus 5 plus xb ubani 4 over 2. Then ya ubani negative 3. Yb ubani q over 2. So if I continue and continue with this x coordinate uzobona minus 5 plus 4, it's negative 1 over, hey, is that a 4 x okay. No, ngiyabona. I can see the mistake. Apologies. Check ala. I made a mistake when I copied the problem. It's actually vice versa. It should be a minus 1 over 2. Then go about 3 over 2 ngala. No, ngiyabona. Apologies for this. Okay, so the answer should be minus half over 2. And then lana it's gonna be a minus 3. Let me fix this up. It's a minus half, then now 3 over 2. Then lana it's a minus half, then about 3 over 2 right? So as you can see that to x nalo x lo bayafana, right? And then this y yo komele ifane na that y coordinate plus q over 2. So low y low komela fane na low y low. So we're just gonna equate them. About 3 over 2 equal to minus 3 plus q over 2. Cross multiply as tolu 6 now. Then it's tolu minus 6. Then kuba 0. Niyabona ke manje. What is happening? It's minus 3 sharp over 2, then q 3 over 2 when times when that's 6 sharp. Oh, okay. Yeah. Problems. Problems. Okay, then it's 2q la. I made a mistake. It is here when 2 times when I got this, but I forgot to multiply that q. Okay, then when a 6 come over this side, sithola a 12 equal to 2q. So the answer for q is going to be equal to 6. So example 1, so calculator using the gradient. Sathola what? Sathola 6 as a q. Then example number 2, so 70 distance, so calculate to q and got 6. Now we are using a midpoint. We are getting the same answer, right? We are using the same answer. So Lana, this discussion for finding unknown coordinates, it's either usebenza ne midpoint, usebenza ne gradient, or usebenza ne distance, right? So going back to this problem, maybe introduce it, right? So we are going to Lana for the line AD. For the line AD is defined by the equation. This is line AD. Now line AD. This is AD. And then points B and C are placed in such a way that BC are parallel to AD. Point A lies on the x-axis. Okay, think. They want us to calculate ubani B, and they did not tell us anything about the gradient for this line. They did not tell us anything about the midpoint for this line. They did not tell us anything about the gradient as well. I feel like I'm repeating something. I feel like I repeat a gradient. So abaspan gradient, distance, nor the midpoint, right? So we have to find a way to calculate one of the three quantities is what discussed here right now. Yeah, what? So the moment I'm a parallel lines, I'm thinking, I know that parallel lines have equal gradients, right? So I think for this question, I'm gonna have to use a gradient, which is the case, right? I have my parallel lines and AD line. I'm given the equation for this, which is y equal to line AD. Now the equation is this: minus 2x minus 3. And we know that a straight line equation is always written as mx plus bunny c. So it means that the minus 2 is actually a gradient for line AD. So AD is equal to minus 2. So this gradient, this line AD has a gradient of minus 2. So BC will also have a gradient that is equal to minus 2. So you can just do the calculation yourself again. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to give it to you as an activity. So you're just going to use this gradient ka minus 2. Use that to calculate the coordinate like a P. So this is how you can apply what we just discussed when coming across a question where you have to find an unknown coordinate. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you told some value out of this discussion. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, share. So for now, I'm signing out, guys. Asponane on the next recording.